Erica Lorraine Spencer here. This is the P.O.C. pattern of conduct, the ongoing real-time documentation of what is the criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking in violation of 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsection 1 and subsection 2. This is the pattern of conduct underway by a public entity, that is the state of California, that is engaging in federal stalking in concert with the people of the state of California. So this is group conduct. And this is the practicing of what are the criminal elements of monitoring amongst what is the demon possessed. And so this is what is documentation of terrorism as it is underway by a public entity in concert with the people of the state who are in the shoes of the government as this criminal system is in ceaseless operation. And as the state engages in this demented group conduct, this is revealing how the public entity, that is the state of California, that is in the United States of America, how terrorism of an American citizen plays out, what that looks like, how that is facilitated amongst a people, amongst a government, how it is public corruption in plain sight, and not only that, how you formulate policy and how you prosecute that which is demonic conduct, it's demonic activity, but that which is in no way impervious to prosecution in federal court, and being subject to ratification into federal policy. This is the P.O.C. 6NPP288, 7ZAG032, 7D696U2, 7UIT279, 8H43536, 6YFR297, 21942B3, U404FO, CPK0697, that's an Arizona plate, 8GQY015. It is 8:24 in the morning. These are third parties that are patrolling on what is 9th Street from 1st Avenue up toward Euclid Avenue. All right, this is P.O.C. and license plate 8WMP661. I want to document Coca-Cola. All right, and by that is a demon-possessed stalker is driving a commercial vehicle with the brand Coca-Cola, a large red truck with a Coca-Cola brand on it, and that is a means of documenting federal stalking, utilizing that brand in order to do so. Stalking with light, doing so parked on 1st Avenue in relevant position at 8:25 in the morning in the city of Upland. That's P.O.C. All right, this demon-possessed stalker, she stalks with activity. So as I'm walking, as I engage in a new activity, she closes her car door as she is stalking in the path, sitting in the parking lot. This is at 1st Avenue and 9th Street. She's going inside of this building where there is this sign. It says free public parking, 3-hour limit in the city of Upland. Her license plate is 5WRR913. This is a Caucasian female with a blonde ponytail. She's carrying a blue lunch bag on her right shoulder, carrying a black purse in her left arm, black sandals, blue jeans, and a cream and dark gray striped shirt. All right, horizontal stripes on her shirt. She's entering inside of what is a facilitating venue. Going to work is no form. She's engaging in the demonic behavioral pattern, and she was stalking in the parking lot, engaging in crossing path. As I engage in new movement, she creates audible activity. Okay, license plate 5GVL421. It's 8:27 a.m. All right, this is federal stalking in the restroom, maintaining presence in that private space, engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring, and these are sex offenders who are stalking and monitoring, which is continuously underway. This is sexual violence at Upland Public Library. It's 10:10 a.m. All Erica Lorraine Spencer here, and this is a recitation of the pattern of conduct and what is the ongoing exposure as you're witnessing what's demonic activity underway by a public entity and the people of the state that are engaging in what are, it is criminal monitoring. It's federal stalking under 18 U.S.C. But this is the practicing of what is demonic activity. And so on video, what I'm capturing, and it is in many ways more powerful than my narrating what are the criminal elements as they are underway. You're witnessing the state engaging in that long documented pattern of conduct of stalking via airplane. And this is the state that is using one of its own airplanes as opposed to, for example, third-party group stalker and terrorist Southwest Airlines. The state flies directly over my head in this small jet-like, very unique-looking aircraft that's flying very rapidly over my head while I'm sitting on the concrete bench in front of what is the display where dead veterans are being honored in this state facilitating venue where federal stalking by the demon-possessed are underway. It's ceaselessly underway, and that's what I'm capturing as the state is engaging in the ongoing documented conduct of stalking in airplanes. And doing so, which is group stalking, this is the practicing of demonic activity. Group stalking in and of itself is the practicing of demonic activity. As I am documenting the state stalking via aircraft, engaging in the criminal element of what is monitoring, the state is amplifying the sound of this plane. The state is doing so via airplane in concert with the group stalkers that I'm showing in the video who are doing what is called relevant positioning. This is group presence in the path while they are stalking together. This is stalking as a group. This is demonic activity. The state is doing so in concert with the state. Understand the people of the state represent the vicarious aspect of that one entity, all right? And so that you're looking at the people who are around me engaging in the criminal elements, engaging in what is demonic activity with minor children in tow, okay? Doing so, stalking an American citizen, engaging in terrorism of an American citizen with these minor children. Who, by the way, let me be clear, as I've already shown, demon possession is not limited to the age of 18. I'm exposing that which is a demented targeting system practiced by a government as it is engaging in what is absolutely satanic activity. For purposes of prosecuting a public entity engaging in this system, it is necessary to understand demon possession is not limited to the age of majority. When you are prosecuting what is terrorism, it's not going to be limited because you are engaging in sexually violent terrorism, criminal facilitation of that life-threatening conduct because you're under the age of 18. Well, you are monitoring with communication devices. It's not going to be limited by that. But what you are looking at is what is the additional federal charge of a terrorist. That is the people of the state as they are contributing to what is, and this is an entity. Understand, they're not acting as individuals. That's the government that you're seeing cheesing from ear to ear while they are stalking with the state that is flying over my head in government planes pursuant to that long documented pattern of stalking by airplanes, which is incredibly terrorizing conduct, and they are crossing path. Doing so with a smiling face is supposed to be the form that they have of absolute ignorance to your presence, of the absolute non-existence of such monitoring as they are aware, first of all, that they're being documented. And this is the form that third parties take. You see how there is no form. Smiling with little minions running around. By minions, I mean her children, their children, whoever's children they are. They're creating audible activity, first of all. The elements are underway through the use of those children, first of all, and they are all in relevant position, monitoring together. I'm focusing on the adults. What I am pointing out, though, is how these adults engage in criminal facilitation and the delinquency of minors, albeit demon-possessed minors, who are engaging in this life-threatening pattern of conduct together with the state, all right? And that is relevant for prosecuting the people of the state. But for purposes of these young adults that are monitoring with communication devices, fully apprised of what they are doing as they are engaging in the elements, you are talking about there is no limiting that prosecution. And I've shown how this is the malice with which the demon-possessed act, and stripping down what is the absence of any form, smiling, and engaging in act. While you're engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring as though you're ignorant is absolutely irrelevant where monitoring is underway. But this is what the system relies on. And in this video, you're witnessing plain criminal activity. It is plain and in your face. Third parties engage in what is patrolling as I'm in operation of my communication device, standing, the third party that you see at the door of the library, she is walking past me literally as the state is amplifying the sound of plane activity, and then I'm capturing it as it has flown over my head, and she's maintaining presence at the entrance of the library. The group stalker, as you see, as I aim my camera toward her in real time, she engages in movement. She's not moving her back. Understand that's the demonic behavioral pattern. She's engaging in movement, the creation of activity while I'm in operation of a communication device. But it is also speaking to the knowledge that she has as she's being documented. right? The group stalkers that get out of their vehicle and do so with minor children and the male, they are engaging in what is crossing a path, and they are doing so with pursuant to the state that is monitoring. They're all monitoring together. This is called group stalking. And as I am also documenting what is the Upland Police Department, who remain in relevant position, and I also capture this in video, and you have the same absence of form. First of all, this is terrorism as the identity of that state actor itself. By virtue of your identity as the law enforcement, this is terrorism as federal stalking is underway. You have the absence of any form while they are outwardly conducting themselves as though they are focused on something else, while the criminal elements of monitoring remain underway. And moreover, law enforcement has been documented in a prolonged pattern of conduct of maintenance of presence in the path. This is group stalking. This is the malice with which the people engage in that system. You are witnessing demonic activity as it is underway by those uniformed as law enforcement, specifically the Upland Police Department. At state facilitating venue, the Upland City Council, the Upland City Hall, is a facilitating venue where the state is engaging in this satanic activity, this targeting system of federal stalking. The Upland Public Library is a state facilitating venue where the state is engaging in this satanic activity, this criminal system of federal stalking, where the state is engaging in this ongoing pattern of flying over my head, which it does in commercial airplanes and helicopters, and in its own planes, which I'm capturing in this video at 9:58 a.m. And you have what are the people that maintain presence. Law enforcement represents direct activity. These state facilitating venues are speaking to the absence of any form where that system is ceaselessly underway. And as I go inside of the venue of the Upland Public Library, understand what I'm taking pictures of is the maintenance of presence. These are the demon possessed. This is how demonic activity presents itself, okay? Demons do not have to look at you. They don't have to speak to you. The state itself, which is practicing this satanic system, is maintaining the environment whereby they are maintaining presence in the path. And that is the demonic activity, group stalking, group maintenance of presence. As that group is following from place to place, that group is stalking everywhere that you go on a ceaseless basis, including inside of that private space, which is the restroom, as I document what is the maintenance of presence in that place inside of the private restroom, the private space, which is the restroom. Understand, as I'm entering inside of the venue, these minions are inside of the bathroom for purposes of crossing path. They also enter inside of the bathroom while I am in there, following inside of that private space in order to engage in the creation of audible activity. This is the sexual violence of this demon-possessed entity as criminal monitoring elements remain underway, all right? And so you are looking at what is the maintenance of presence while I'm inside of the venue, while the state is doing the exact same thing, stalking via law enforcement, stalking via airplane and helicopter over my head, replete with the state's stalking with light. The people do so, as I have shown you, they use their commercial vehicles. The state is stalking with directed light 24 hours a day, all right? The absence of And by the way, what I mean absence, I'm putting that in air quotes. I have already demonstrated the state's fake sun, which is not maintaining ubiquitous presence over everyone's head all day long. The state is maintaining its light source, which is not the sun, over my head all day long. And doing so because this criminal system is underway. This is speaking to the existence of a system. That is also the outward demonstration of demonic activity, of demon possession. Stalking with light is demonic conduct. This is that which is practiced by the state. The people of the state demonstrate this using their commercial vehicles, using their private vehicles. It's the outward demonstration of demon possession while the criminal elements of monitoring are being maintained thereby. And also this is the terrorism as that demonic system is maintained in such manners. That is criminal conduct, and there is no form. There is nothing that you are doing, in other words, that is anything other than the maintenance of the state's criminal pattern of conduct as it has been established and consistently documented. And so this is terrorism that I'm documenting while the people of the state are maintaining presence in the path, while holding the hands of their minor children, while engaging in sitting in a study room in relevant position, and understand what is going on in the environment. The state is flying over this venue in the same way that I captured while I'm sitting outside, in the same way that I capture day in and day out as the state is stalking with light, either by its fake sun in concert with the state acting via the people who are stalking with light in the ways that they have at their disposal as well. Okay, so what I am revealing is the ceaseless engagement in the criminal elements of monitoring, which is criminal activity speaking to what is demonic conduct by a public entity. That is terrorism. While this demented, sexually violent, life-threatening, demonic activity underway by a public entity is constantly documented. And this is a state facilitating venue, the Upland City Hall, the Upland Fire Department, the Upland police department who are in relevant position, which I'm clearly capturing in video, and you have what is the state stalking via aircraft, and you have what is the state facilitating venue of the Upland Public Library, where the ongoing sexual violence is underway, the maintenance of presence is underway, the elements of light and audible activity are underway, and they engage in the demonic behavioral pattern of stalking with activity, the amplification of activity. The state is creating artificial amplified activity, and the entity is pacing around basically inside and outside, using their vehicles, using their physical presence, using the absence of any form. But understand, where you work in relevant position, you are engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring. That's why the state is stalking in all of those aforesaid methods, because that demonic system is underway, and being on your job, getting paid for being present is no form for that. There is nothing that is superseding that criminal system, which is the practicing of terrorism, as this satanic activity is underway by the state of California and by the people of the state of California. And that's what I captured in those videos. That is what is underway while those same demons, as I am inside of the private space, while I am physically indisposed, while demons maintain real-time knowledge of what you are doing in that private space and engage in affirmative conduct in order to be next to you, in other words, enter inside of that private space to maintain presence in the path, to create audible activity and light activity. That is the very violent, life-threatening sex offender that is very determined to engage in continuing engagement in that sexual violence with knowledge of that documentation. Okay, that's a sex offender that is very much worthy of being stopped from engaging in that, and that is speaking to the policy and that prosecution and the punishment for a public entity's practicing of such terrorism in concert with the people of the state. It's 11:27 a.m. and that terrorism is underway ceaselessly. It is underway right now while the entity is listening to every word that I document about its criminal system, and that is exactly what you're witnessing as I capture this video. That ongoing criminal system, as the state flies over my head, it is the ongoing confirmation of the entirety of that system. Okay, it is the state's pattern of conduct. The state is stalking via aircraft and doing so as it flies over my head, while the demon-possessed stalkers that are the people of the state act in concert with that entity. And the demon-possessed stalkers of the Upland Fire Department, the Upland Fire Department is in relevant position at that venue, but I'm looking at, in my video, I'm focusing on those demon-possessed stalkers, that is law enforcement, the Upland Police Department, engaging in the identical conduct, the identical behavioral pattern, that is group presence in the path, the absence of coincidence. It is the system in operation. It's 11:28 a.m. and that is P.O.C. All right, stalkers enter inside of the restroom, which is the private space, and that is called stalking with activity. All right, the state's fake sun is over the venue, and it is also the same exact stalker that has engaged in harassment at the same private space, by the way. Stalking in a bathroom stall, that's a very mentally disturbed stalker that represents the entity that's engaged in ongoing demonic activity. Flushing the toilet with simultaneity of my operation of my communication device while you are stalking and hiding in a relevant position inside of the venue of the private space. Okay, it is 5:49 p.m. and that is a pattern of conduct. That's why the fake sun is over the venue and directed light is inside. So that's capturing what is sexual violence while stalkers creep in bathroom stalls. That's what they're doing. And outside and around the bathroom as well, but I want to be clear, they're in the bathroom stalking in relevant position, using the toilet as a means of audible activity. It is 5:50 p.m. That's P.O.C. 7NHT151, 7CJP013. It's 5:55 p.m. and I did capture what is the sexual violence while stalkers literally hide around. They're actually hiding, right? But what is their form that they're using in the bathroom? While they engage in the same demonic behavioral pattern of stalking with activity using a toilet or using the hand dryer or using the faucet. It's the creation of audible activity in the same exact environment that the state is maintaining. That is a seriously mentally depraved and sexually perverted and demented actor. That is illustrative of the entire entity, by the way. The state is flying over by plane and helicopter and stalking by police, all of whom together are corporately maintaining real-time knowledge of everything that is going on inside of that private space, monitoring to that demonic and perverted predatory purpose of that audible activity, by the way. Okay, 8RAE181, and that same stalker is flying over the public library, the Upland Public Library right now. License 3GVB370. 8GCW589, 1178471, 7GTV556. And just to be clear, group stalkers patrolling around in traffic, sitting in their vehicles on the sidewalks in relevant positions, stalking in their vehicles, sitting in the parking lot in their cars in relevant position. There is no form. None whatsoever. Meaning there is nothing that they are doing, and I am speaking to what is demonic activity. These are demons that are surrounding, stalking together, and I'm capturing them in plain sight while they are acting like they're doing something. There is nothing else that's going on but the pattern of conduct. That's it. Okay? 6GVW710. And just as I captured again last night at the Ontario Plaza, that ominous stalking, that's how I'm describing it, because that's what it is. That's a demon that's engaging in stalking and doing so openly, because the people of the state have yet to be, first of all, humiliated and then prosecuted very severely for that stalking activity with the government. 8GZP379 pacing with license plate 7GTV556, all right? The one that she was already sitting, she's just stalking, sitting in the parking lot. Now she's crossing path, all right? And as she crosses path with the other one, that's the entity pacing together. One crossing one direction, the other going the other direction, all right? They are the same actor. That's the point of it, though. 5WSB861, 7KKY233, 8KJX490. And yes, I did capture the state's fake son remaining on the same side of the Upland Public Library. I just captured yesterday the state's fake son directly above Dunkin' Donuts at Mountain Avenue in the city of Upland. This is after 2 p.m. in the afternoon, where the state's fake son is remaining at Upland. And I'm just isolating it to this location. The state's fake son is supposed to be remaining in front of the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library entrance. I have tons of videos speaking to that. And the state engages in what is hoping that you forget that documentation of where its light source, that is not the sun, is located. There is no cloudy day that erases that documentation. And while the state is flying over an aircraft, group stalker 6RML478 crosses path, as well as 7RDC572. All right? There is absolutely no form for what is open demonic activity. These are psychopaths. That's what I'm exposing. They're psychopaths, and they're going to be prosecuted for that. Psychopaths engaging in terrorism, having yet to be subject to punishment for that. That is 6YFR574. Literally, as they engage in this conduct, as the state engages in it, it's telling on the people the reality of these demented actors who are engaging in terrorism and sexually violent terrorism while they take their demented conduct inside of the bathroom, where they want to stalk you in there. 8EZR179, loitering in relevant position while the state is stalking via aircraft, monitoring with 4HBD328. All right, so I'll go ahead and get all these demons in this parking lot, loitering in relevant position. All right, this is like, for example, the people of the state that are grouped together. These are demons, a pack of demons using their vehicles as light as they are stalking in the path. This is analogous to the Upland Police Department, the Ontario Police Department, who are under the 10 Bridge in relevant position to me while I'm at Dunkin' Donuts, locked inside of that venue where they're engaging in federal stalking and doing the same relevant positioning through the drive-thru. Okay, 8PLT128, CAAV08. BAWMMOM, 7UHY225, 6WXW211, 5HKD974, 8EBU995, 8SKZ631, 6YTG511, 7X72472, 8XQA562, 7CWX145, 5USN635, 7RIW506, 8REK689, 7VLH753, 6GSJ784, 8DSW363, P461PO. This is Dance Dynamics. This is a facilitating venue. MRDRAGN. And they are all congregated while the state's fake son is in relevant position. These are demons that have zero form, and the facilitating venue is Dance Dynamics, right here at the same venue where the state's fake son is in the morning, where I'm facing Fat's Buddha spot. State's fake son right over the edge of that building. This is what the demons are doing right now. This is where they're congregated, and their vehicles are a means of relevant positioning and light activity. Dance Dynamics is no form. This is the ongoing demonic system in action. 8KRG645. But I will document Dance Dynamics as a facilitating venue. 7GJD955. 7JSX083. 04498X2. 7FBG631. FedEx is monitoring. 7MHS822. 8SHG913. 8PGW646. 6GND 517, 6RML 478, 8BYK 666, 40537T2, 7DVY 783. And now, so I want to be clear, where Dance Dynamics is inside of this little plaza area, this is the same area where I'm standing on the sidewalk across from the First United Methodist Church at the intersection of First and C, and I captured what was the state on a couple mornings ago, and the state was flying in a circle. That's a demonic activity as the state engaging in what is terrorism, not only by virtue of the stalking conduct being by the government, but because that's demonic activity by the government that's stalking you. And as at this same plaza where the state's fake sun was over, this is where they are congregated. This is grouping 4LTE 972. This is demonic activity as stalking, federal stalking is underway. WATTS IT, yeah, Watts it, 6LPZ 469, 7JLJ 494, and as I am standing inside of the plaza area, the state's fake sun is still visible right over the top of the building, okay, as I'm facing Euclid Avenue from this plaza area. This is the state's fake sun that I'm looking at while they are congregated around Dance Dynamics. 8XUY 635 is engaging in terrorism with the state. What you hear in the background is Metrolink engaging in terrorism with the state in that same deliberately maintained environment. This is demonic activity, Metrolink engaging in what is terrorism. 7JLJ 494, 8WMN 868, 8PSH 016, 7PGG 822, 8KKG 315, 8CLK 521, 6LIG 534. FedEx is now crossing path, meaning driving away after loitering in relevant position and waits until I walk toward them. As I get in the path, then they drive off, creating audible activity in doing so. All right, that's the demonic behavioral pattern. No, you go on ahead, Satan. Go on ahead. Monitoring with minor children. Let me recite this license plate again. This is a psychopath and a sex offender, 7VLH 753. All right, license plate 8XLK015. And I did get what is the state's fake sun, as you can see it visibly while I'm standing at the intersection of what is, hold on, let me get this psychopath license plate. I want to make sure I get the one that gets out, aims her phone at me is 7FBG631. All right, she is engaging in monitoring and she aims her phone specifically in my direction. I want to be clear, she is monitoring, and that is posing a direct threat while the state is amplifying plane engines in my head. They're monitoring with communication devices. This is federal stalking, all right, by an entity, not an individual. And Dance Dynamics is a facilitating venue. That's what this goes for. You have a lighter? This demon in WATTS II is flickering light. That's Satan, P.O.C. He's flickering light from his phone. It's flickering light. That's called light activity. It's 6:05 p.m. All right, this is ongoing real life documentation of demonic activity, demons. They are psychopaths. Under that which is not the sun, and going to Dance Dynamics, going to get a Subway sandwich under the state's fake sun is no form. There is no form. There is nothing that is going on that's superseding the ongoing criminal pattern of conduct. This is exactly what the Ontario Police Department were doing yesterday. Pay attention to that video while I'm in that shopping plaza. By the way, also not a coincidence that the Ontario Police are there while I am at yet another Starbucks. All right, so this is still posing that same threat as I am looking for a Starbucks that has yet to engage in criminal summoning. All right, that's not a coincidence. That is the posing of a threat by those demon-possessed stalkers of the Ontario Police Department. 8EZR 379, loitering in relevant position, demon possession demonstrated by this group stalker. Communication device in operation while she's parked, legally on the sidewalk. She has her hazard lights on, 8GQT026. This is facilitation and federal stalking. She's creating light activity while these demons are literally pacing all around. They're like cockroaches, and they're all over and on this street at this area right here where the state's fake sun is over the venue and where the state is amplifying plane engines, okay? I did capture what is another example, the ominous stalking by the people, and these are demons that are pacing all around in that ongoing environment while the state is sounding plane engines. And you're looking at what is the behavioral pattern, that demonic stalking activity by the people. This is stalking with light. This is analogous to the state stalking with directed light, stalking with the fake sun, the light source. This is how they engage in that demonic activity, the people using whatever they have at their disposal to create light. So the demon that I appropriately addressed with the license plate W-A-T-T-S-I-I, he is sparking light. He's creating some flashing light in his hand while he's in operation of his communication device. That's called light activity. And he is stalking in the path with light. Using your hazard lights while you are engaging in the criminal pattern of conduct. She is stalking with light using her hazard lights, okay? What's her form? She's waiting for somebody to get in her car. It does not matter what you're doing. These are the people of the state that are engaging in group demonic activity in concert with the state, which, by the way, has kept its fake sun over this same intersection. Over the same building, and then moved it from the side of that building to go what is, as I walk from the library, I am walking what is south on First Avenue in the state's fake sun, and you can see it in the video, is clearly within view of that, while you're looking at what are the demons, the people of the state that are pacing all around in their vehicles. And they literally look like the cockroaches that they are, as I'm describing to you. 6G and P917, the pattern of conduct, you're looking at the environment and you're realizing what they are doing. And they are literally maintaining presence, and that cockroach spirit that is about all of them, that is what is inspiring all of this, which is the core of what is public corruption, is literally visible, all right, when you realize what they're all doing, which is the maintenance of presence in this demented and unnatural environment. 3 in U.S. 377, and again, that is dance dynamics. A facilitating venue, facilitating terrorism. I don't care about any dance class. There is nothing that is superseding. You're talking about the people of the state using that venue as their form for congregating in relevant position, using their vehicles as light activity. And if it wasn't dance dynamics, it would have been something else. They're stalking in the path. This is what the people do. They'll hop into any drive-through. They'll sit on the side of any curb, even when they're legally parked, turning on their hazard lights, whatever they have to engage in the criminal elements of monitoring. And that's what is underway. Under the fake sun, in directed light, while the state is amplifying plane engines and blatantly stalking. That's why I'm capturing the government flying over my head in planes at this same venue of the Upland Public Library. There is no form, okay? And I want to be clear, FedEx engaging in that as well, jumping on inside of the pattern of conduct as well. It is 6:10 p.m. and that is P.O.C. All right, license plate 7X72472. In case I didn't read that, I just want to make sure I got all those license plates in that parking lot. That was relevant positioning as I am exiting what is the library, which is public information, where I am and where I am going and where I may go. Understand, they maintain relevant positioning. And what I'm documenting is doing so via dance dynamics, where everybody's in line at dance dynamics, 8UTHO27. All right, where the state's fake sun is in alignment with me while I'm at that parking lot documenting the minions at Dance Dynamics. It is currently 6:11 p.m. And this is upon my exit of Upland Public Library. And again, I did capture what is the video of, and it's literally down to the second. So what I've done is I've provided a way for you to understand what you're witnessing with regard to the state stalking with light. The actual sun. The actual sun, that is real. There's only one sun, though, and it's a star, and it is actually not over any of the locations where I have been. The sun is actually not over my head at any of these addresses. What I'm documenting is the state's light source. This is not the sun. And the ongoing documentation is establishing that as the state is engaging with its light source, that is not the sun, as it is dragging a light source above my head, which is the practicing of demonic activity. This is what demons do. This is satanic. And this is the maintenance of light on me and all around me while this federal stalking system is underway. This is a state system. And what I have documented again today at 4:48 p.m. and 21 seconds. The same down to the second. You will see, for example, at T-Mobile, located at 101 North Euclid Avenue in the city of Ontario. And this is just one example. And this is only one example of the way you're analyzing it, the way you're understanding what you're witnessing. And it is the impossibility, the actual sun. There is one sun, and it's not the light source that the state is keeping over my head. The actual sun does not maintain ubiquitous presence over everyone's head, everywhere that you are going, all throughout the day. And regardless of whatever direction that you're going, whatever city you're in, that is not the sun. And that is why I began documenting it. And this state is engaging in stalking with light because federal stalking is underway. And this is bigger than just what is federal stalking by government, which is criminal. But this is actually demonic activity while the government is engaging in federal stalking. The criminal elements of monitoring are engaging in the ongoing elements of light activity. This is audible activity, sensational activity, and or excuse me, let me get this license plate really quick. They're patrolling by, and I want to get this one, 7V-SC-068, and I'm at the intersection of 1st and 9th Street at 6:13 p.m. And so with regard to, and let me just give context, and I'm going to return to my analysis of what I'm showing you with the state's directed light conduct and the stalking with light activity. The state's conduct, for example, what you're capturing as you are looking at the video that I captured this morning, as the state is hovering in a government plane, as opposed to, for example, a Delta Airlines commercial airline plane. It's the same stalking conduct, and it is the same entity. It's the state acting directly and flying in what I identify as a government plane, and flies directly over my head. And you're witnessing what is the state covering up its light source, because the state maintains its fake sun over my head all day long, all right? And if I'm inside of a building, maintains its fake sun over that building, like I documented today at Upland Public Library, all day long, regardless of the fact that it has already been caught keeping its fake sun, for example, over another venue. And how is this going to coexist if you are already documented remaining literally over a physical address, 7ZME492? And this is what I'm capturing. This is what is so spectacular about the documentation, because it is impossible to coexist. Not only is that not the sun that remains physically over an address all day long, and then you're looking at what is that light activity that coexists with this, which is not the sun. This is not sunlight either that's surrounding, that's the state's directed light. And then the state will follow from another place, 00769W1, 00769W1. Then the state will follow from that place, that documented activity, and then follow to another entirely distinct address. And this is why I documented it, because you're witnessing what is stalking with light. That is speaking to the very disturbed and depraved stalking conduct by a group, that is the government, that is engaging in satanic activity. All right, license 8HKC908, communication device in hand, 82881J2, communication devices in hand. They're studying them while they're monitoring. This is pacing by the entity, their light activity being created using their vehicles, and operation of their communication devices while they're monitoring 6NDW090. These demons are engaging in monitoring, and this satanic activity that I'm speaking to, that I'm documenting, they are fixated on the phones. This is the first thing that I observed about the strangers that were stalking me, that I noticed in 2018, and that was the thing that stood out to me, and that's exactly what they are doing. 7JJL963. They are stalking, and they are fixated on this federal stalking conduct with communication devices is how you're going to prosecute it, 8BQW143. But this is a demonic system that is centered on, it's premised upon the use of communication devices, of technology. All right. This is very, very demented conduct that centers on the average person, that everyone has a cell phone, everyone, and they are stalking, engaging in monitoring, and this demonic system is centered on that. And it is actually in such that every single person, and every single person is, they are all in relevant position, and there's no exception, that remains the case, that everyone may participate, especially in California. Everybody has a cell phone, especially with regard to the creation of this capitalistic society, whereby it's actually it's actually structured such that you need such technology, 6HPJ643, and I don't think that that's coincidental. All right, so I'm going to digress from that, but I'm just speaking to this demonic system. They are heavily related. There is like this obsessive aspect with and centering this demonic system on the use of technology. And that is the first observation. That was the preeminent observation by the stalkers that I started documenting in 2018. That continues to be the case. And not only that, it is also relevant to what is federal stalking as I'm documenting a group stalker in operation of their communication device. Okay. So that's why I point that out. But this is something that they are always focused on. Group stalkers, again, before I started documenting them, before there was any concern that there would be a prosecution, understand where these demons were acting with, I would say, 5DJX 468, acting very audacious, all right, which I still capture that. But understand, as I have documented, the true character of the people is very much, I would say, dialed down a bit, especially because I am publishing on the internet and because there is a fear, a genuine fear, and there should be, because I am going to prosecute. I am creating policy such that any other ordinary target individual may prosecute and enforce their rights as well. But let me be clear, what I was approached with was violence, all right? Intentional car collisions. I mean, they were getting in car accidents with me on purpose, all right? And doing so, this was violence that I was subject to while the people of the state were convinced that they were going to get away with what they were doing. As I became aware of it and I started documenting it, this is the true character of these demons that I am documenting. This is the true character of the people of the state. All right. And I am describing them as one because they are one. This is a demonic entity, and this is a public entity acting vicariously through the people. They are one group. All right. And that is the reality. And that's why I'm speaking of them in that regard. These are not separate, ordinary people engaging in normal everyday life and everyday society. This is a demonic targeting system in operation. License 8KLR650. And such violence was very common, and I was subject to it, and I documented it. But I'm just speaking to the dialed down, albeit still present, 8GFM052, and equally terrorizing and life-threatening conduct by a government and the people of the state, as I remain subject to federal stalking, 6HRX070. And so you have what is the foreign concept by the entity, never anticipating and in no way prepared to be documented and prosecuted, 6FTD922. And they would act with impunity. Absolute impunity, stripping my car of my VIN number, my license plate, engaging in intentional car collisions. This is what I documented on November 3rd, 2018, and engaging in concerted conduct with law enforcement who would do absolutely nothing because they're monitoring together. So this is something that it forces you to document and be diligent in deciphering what is the system that's in operation. And it is centered on communication devices. And this demonic system, they are focused in on. It's absolutely demented conduct, 8VOS741. It's really, really sick. There's something to this demonic system, this demonic activity that is centered on their use of communication devices, 8GHU257, 5SFH773. And I just want to point that out. So with regard to this morning, I want to get back to what I documented. With regard to this morning and the state flying over my head, and you're looking at the sky space, this has not changed. I've already shown you how the state engages in chicanery with the environment. When it's a rainy day, when it is a quote-unquote cloudy day, when it is nighttime, the pattern of conduct does not stop. The significance of revealing and proving that the state is stalking with light, which is what I have done, because it's not a question as to whether that's the sun. It's not the sun, and that is not even a reasonable proposition. That's not, and that's also not something that's going to be, that's a mystery in any federal forum. This is clearly not the sun, and all I did was document it, and I established that the state is stalking with light. And the establishing of stalking with light conduct is showing what is demonic activity by an entity. That's Metrolink engaging in terrorism at 6:21 p.m. And you have what is the proof that the state is stalking with a light source. And let me be clear, that's called amplification. I am quite a distance away from the train station, and the train is not going to be such that I can't hear myself talk on the phone. That's not even realistic. This is that same entity that hates to hear the evidence against itself as the psychopath is listening to me recite how in all the ways in which I'm going to prosecute and literally humiliate Satan on the world stage as he is acting and personified in every single psychopath that is crossing path, even right now, including Metrolink. Okay, it's 6:22 p.m. I just want to give you the real-time context to that. That's ridiculous. That's called amplification. 8FNA 784, and that's terrorism as Metrolink is engaged in and is the guise under which that audible activity is created. All right, while the people of the state are pacing as one demonic entity monitoring to that, and the state is pacing an aircraft and by these psychopaths in law enforcement vehicles monitoring to that. Okay, it's 6:22 p.m. Anyway, so you have what is the established pattern of stalking with light. That's demonic. And the practicing of demonic activity by a government is terrorism. All right. And that is a direct threat to your life. And that is only intended to terrify a person. An American citizen is context because I happen to be in the United States of America. Any government engaging in that is terrorism. That's a direct threat to your life. That's a direct threat to your well-being. In addition to the fact that the entity is doing it with the people of the state. All of them are practicing this satanic ritualistic stalking system together. 7AMJ 338, I believe. Can't really see that one. So you have what is the state's engagement and ongoing manipulation of the environment. And as I have already proven that the state is stalking with a light source and stalking with light in general, you are looking at what is evidence of a system. It's not just the fact that that is proving that the state is engaging in, because that's demonic. Okay, so the state is not only stalking with light because it's engaging in federal stalking. This is speaking to a system that the state is not monitoring by itself. It's doing it with the help of everybody around under that fake sun. The state is engaging in this system 24 hours a day. It's not, and it is not even reasonable to suggest, oh, the state's only monitoring during the day where the fake sun is out. That's not what that shows. And that's also not what the light activity suggests. Light activity continues at nighttime. I just showed you that. At Ontario Plaza, how many shadows do I have around me? That's not natural light activity. That's called stalking with light. And that is demonic. And you can see that demonic feature through the light. Where does that notion for multiple shadows come from? That's literally demonic. You don't even have to fathom that. You can see it. That is twisted. That's called wickedness. That's called demented activity. That's the psychopath. That is the light activity. All right. And that is ongoing day and night. There is no form whereby the state can in any way not only forget or reject or in any way bypass or deviate from that established pattern of conduct. It has established its pattern of conduct. I just did my due diligence in documenting it. There is no cloudy day that's going to erase it. The state has already placed its fake sun over my head everywhere that I've gone. All right. So you're talking about including at this venue. So, for example, if I were to go to a totally new region, and the state engages in being diligent and not placing its fake sun over me in the morning, that is not going to suggest that the state's pattern of conduct is no longer underway. That's how that goes. It's not reasonable to suggest that. In the same way, it is also not reasonable to suggest where the state has engaged in placing its fake sun morning until the evening, which the state has done at the Upland Public Library. There is no cloudy day where the state's pattern of conduct is not underway. I'm documenting the ongoing pattern and it doesn't stop. The state is engaged in a pattern of manipulation of the environment. That's also what that documentation establishes. The pattern of conduct remains, the criminal elements remain. Light is present. Light remains present. I am documenting what are enhanced light tactics that are demonic at their root, revealing what is demon possession by a government that's practicing this ritualistic stalking system, targeting system in concert with a people. All right. All of them oppressed together with demon possession. All right. And so this is that which is I'm showing in the video this morning at 9:58 a.m. where the state is falling over my head. And the state's light source does not go anywhere. I've already shown this. And this is also what you see later in the afternoon where the state's fake sun is visible, aiming directed light, orange tinted directed light through that same where the state's fake sun is over me as I approach the Upland Library coming from Foothill. All right. So coming from the north, all right, the state's fake sun is over the entrance of the library where I'm already inside of the venue and I'm facing outside of the window facing D Street. There's the state's fake sun at 10:15 in the morning. And this is all the documentation mounted together, 7MVE024, where I am inside of the main area where the computers are on the first level. The state's fake sun is directly over the top. That is the center of the library. This is at 1 p.m. This is at after 2 p.m. This is while I am in that same area today after 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Okay, this is 3:53 p.m. The state's fake sun is in that same location. All right. This is documentation, by the way. You're going to take a step back and what is it that I'm describing? What is it that I've captured? The state keeping its fake sun from morning until evening. And I just captured it again while I'm documenting the demon-possessed stalkers over at Dance Dynamics, monitoring in concert with 8UU-Z864. They are one entity. Under what is that which is not the sun, which did not remain no longer next to D Street over the Upland Public Library. Oh no, as I leave the library after 6 p.m., this is where the state's fake sun is, where I'm documenting these demon-possessed stalkers, and this is a fake sun in the sky. First of all, by the way, this is in direct conflict with what I've already captured, where the state is dipping its fake sun behind the houses, trying to hide it. The state's fake sun is elevated in the sky over the sky space. All you have to do is pay attention, all right? Not only is this not the sun, you're looking at what is the conflict. The state is not even able to be consistent. And you know why? Because it's not the actual sun. All right, and this is done by man, demon-possessed man, who is engaging in targeting one who is very, very diligent and is going to prosecute and going to show. And not only that, I'm going to teach based on the practices of Satan amongst the people. So you can understand how the government engages in monitoring. All right, and it's through the criminal elements of monitoring light activity and relevant positioning. Relevant positioning is literally staying all around you all the time, and does not do that as one government by itself. The state is acting with the people. They all stay around you all the time. All right, it's like patty cake. One hand taps the other and around they go. They don't have to do it one person. They're all taking turns maintaining presence, and they are very diligent in doing so. They are outwardly separate looking. They look as though they are separate people, engaging in going about their separate business, going about their separate ways, but they are not. They are one demonic entity of one demonic mind. And it literally is that important. The one who is being targeted. Okay? They are that important. Contrary to what these demon-possessed stalkers would like to be known. All right? That's supposed to be a secret. All right? So you prosecute the people for being a sex offender and a kidnapper and a stalker and a terrorist with minor children. You prosecute for that. You take their children from them. You don't get to engage in that. They are a threat to society. They're a threat to that targeted individual, and they're a threat to those whom they want to consider being a parent or a guardian. No. We don't do that. In the same way you would take them out of the custody of any parent that took them along with them on a joyride to a bank robbery, a very threat to their life. It's the same thing when you want to monitor with the government. And so these are all the ways in which you're going to prosecute as the people engage in what is blatant criminal activity, accustomed to the notion that they can act with impunity and get away with it while they're monitoring on behalf of the government, in the shoes of the government. All right? Monitoring, engaging in life-threatening conduct, and think that they can do so because they're smiling in relevant position. No, I don't think so. That is the psychopath. That's the psychopath right there. All right? It is 6:29 p.m. and the state is continuously sounding plane engines. And the state is monitoring and pacing around. These are demons that are maintaining presence and have been doing so inside of the Upland Public Library. And doing so, I want to be clear, Upland Public Library engaging in the contribution of delinquency of minors, while those demon-possessed minors are engaging in the same exact demonic activity. They are stalking with activity, patrolling, and then you have, after I document, the employees handing over keys to those rooms so that those minors can engage in that demonic terrorism inside of that state facilitating venue. That's the significance of what I documented. That's what I captured in video and in pictures. All right, they are using whatever they have to engage in ongoing noise, in addition to what is the ongoing noise and clamor inside of that venue where demons fill that venue. Demons surround, but where I am, I'm isolating the P.O.C, and they are demon-possessed stalkers, and all of them together are focused on what I am doing, with knowledge of what I'm doing, even on the internet, on the phone. This is the centrality of what I'm saying of technology with what these demons are consumed with as they're monitoring someone. And they are engaging in an ongoing chorus of the maintenance of noise inside of that library. It literally is terrorism by the demented. And then those sex offenders follow into the bathroom. All right, or they hide in the bathroom while you're walking around inside of the venue as they're maintaining relevant positioning. Okay, this is the sickness that they're engaging in. It is entirely demented, entirely. And it is my agenda to make sure I spell out to the nth degree every tactic that they engage in, because it is entirely sick. All right, it is entirely demented. All right, and every single last one of them are going to be documented as the sex offending, kidnapping, stalker, and terrorists that they are. Not making it up, and I don't have to make it up. That's the pattern of conduct. It's 6:31 p.m. That's P.O.C. (5ZBA 527) 7VVP 878 8ERB 628 8BAT 472, 8WWY 369, All Air Masters Inc. That commercial vehicle loitering in relevant position at the front of the Target parking lot and on surveillance cameras is now driving out of the parking lot toward what is Moreno Street. They're monitoring as well in that commercial vehicle. License 8UFD 447, 8MXS 698, 8SLS 950. And by the way, it's 6:53 p.m. and I'm at the Target located at 9052 Moreno Street or Central Avenue. It's the one that's in Montclair, across the street from Montclair Place. The address is 9052. This is a facilitating venue. These are demons that fill this venue, and ongoing terrorism is underway. These demons are monitoring in sync inside of the store and in the parking lot and in traffic. It is P.O.C. and the state is amplifying plane engine sounds. 6:53 p.m. And, 8LPR 231, 7:01 p.m. 8ERB 628, touching me as I exit the vehicle, touching me as I walk back to the vehicle. This sex offender with that license plate. 8ERB 628. License 8HJB 442. 8SLS 950. 5ZBA 527. 8LPR 231. 8NJF 385. 5AMX 084, 8MIX 218, 8VGT 424. Montclair Police, license plate 1492507, vehicle number 24. It is 7:08 p.m. This is at the intersection of San Bernardino Street and I believe Central Avenue. I am at address, let me see, U.S.A. gasoline, and the 7-Eleven that is the same 7-Eleven where Montclair Police were stalking with light, and in addition with Amazon Prime. This is that same location. This is Montclair Police group stalking, and this is loitering in relevant position at a traffic light. The same elements are present. Maintenance in the path, and this is a terrorizing threat by the entity. Again, that is Montclair Police license 1492507, vehicle number 24 at 7:09 p.m. The 7-Eleven located at 9715 on Central Avenue. That's the nearest address. P.O.C. Let's see, license plate 6MIA 795, 7EXM 627, 6DFY 725, 8CXJ 745, 7F32258, 8CFB 422. This is Stater Brothers at 9575. License plate 11582F2, 7V79565, 7MWZ848, 7KAR700, 8RWA131, 8HPP367, 5ZXY590. And again, like I was stating, this is Stater Brothers located this is in the city of Montclair, 8EFG752. I just documented Montclair Police stalking in the path via loitering in relevant position at a traffic light. And I just documented on video the state flying over, amplifying the sound of plane activity while they are stalking in the path, flying over this same venue via aircraft, okay? 6ZSX222, which was amplified while I sat inside of the car, all right? And these minions are maintaining presence in the path in directed light while the state is covering me with directed light as well, while Tracy Banks is maintaining presence and also patrolling, acting in concert with these demons, all right? They're one demonic entity. Monitoring with a minor, by the way, 7XKR756, 8WIJ204, in directed light while she's touching. 8BNS891, 5ZXY590. And let me be clear how the prosecution is going. As I'm documenting, you're hearing the ongoing engagements in the elements. You're witnessing as I'm documenting and I'm capturing video. I'm going to prosecute for what is relentless terrorism as these demons continue to engage in the pattern of conduct while I document and they monitor the documentation. That is speaking to the policy. Right, that's how you're going to prosecute demons. 8DRK555, 7SJN535, 8FCY833, 17602Z1, 8DEN973, 8SZE143, 47992G2, 590TR handicap, 7WAF260, 8DDA269, 8VAV860, 6TMU158, 7FMO264, 8FKN849, 6RKA224, 8VQM797, 78CV740, 7, I'm sorry, just in case I didn't read these, let me make sure I get everything. One that's parked right here in front of the Stater Brothers in relevant position, talking to an employee. It's called facilitation, it's not form. And I have 2 shadows in front of me, 3 shadows, 7F32258, and the state just flew over the same Stater Brothers. LMLVJM. That's called audible activity and directed light. Right, let me make sure I get this. 8CKU725. That's audible activity. 7KAR700. 7CVJ. Yeah, I think I read these already. All right, let me get these. They are stalking in the path, sitting in the parking lot. All right, remember there is no form. Directed light is present, and the state is stalking directly. License 8VIG494. It is 7:18 p.m. And again, this is Stater Brothers, located at 9575 in the city of Montclair. I want to make sure I specifically document the third-party group stalker that I document. She's monitoring with 7XUW057 with their brake lights. She is sitting, stalking in the vehicle 7EXM627, and she's monitoring with minor children. It's 7:20 p.m. Directed light. And that is the impossible audible activity of a train. All right, that was, first of all, 2 things. Helicopter activity. It's 8:42 p.m. And that is also, I am at 630 North Fern Avenue. To be clear, you will not hear the Metrolink train off of First Avenue. You will not hear the Union Pacific train on the Amtrak train tracks at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts either. That is what is called artificial activity. Again, I'm at 630 North Fern. It's 8:42 p.m. That audible activity that you can hear with your own ears, which I've already documented this before. That's called impossible audible activity, as impossible as is the light activity that was also appearing inside of this vehicle, directed light, while that audible activity is being created, right? While the state is stalking via helicopter, which was also that coexisting audible activity of the train. That's the state amplifies the sound of that train on the inside of this vehicle, has amplified that same fake audible activity, literally playing the tape of a sound of a train inside of the apartment at Woodside Senior Apartments and inside of my vehicle that was formerly parked at Vine and G Street at 714 North Vine. All right. And this goes without saying, this is common sense. This is impossible to hear. You will not hear the train from any of those vantage points at this distance. That is literally direct evidence. That is as direct as the state flying over in a helicopter, as direct as is the sighting of the fake sun over me, as direct as is the direct light that surrounds me, as direct as is actually law enforcement and any state actor documented engaged in the state stalking pattern of conduct. It's 8:42 p.m. That is the hallmark. All right, the amplification, the stalking with any means of audible activity, that's the state's conduct, and that is also the mark of demonic activity, excuse me. It's both the criminal element of monitoring, federal stalking, it's the creation of audible activity. It is also that which is impossible, that is speaking to state action. It is also speaking to what is demonic activity, all right? That lets you know without you having to look at anyone. You don't even have to see anyone. You already know where the state is engaging in the creation of that which is impossible, audible activity. The people of the state are in relevant position, stalking, demon-possessed stalkers remain in relevant position, and the state is engaged in monitoring. It's 8:45 p.m. That is P.O.C. That is the exact same tape of the sound of a plane taking off that I document while I'm at the museum, and the state is patrolling over the museum and commercial-sized airplanes and helicopter. It's 11:17 p.m. and the state is flying over Fern. There is no airport over Fern. There's no airport over what is the next street adjacent to Fern, north or south of Fern. The state is flying over and stalking with activity in doing so. So as I just restarted my phone, the demon-possessed stalkers that are the people of the state, they drive down the street at the same time that I restart my phone. The state is circulating directed light inside of this vehicle. Right? The same flashing light, the same walls of light, this light activity, this impossible light activity that I'm documenting. The state is moving this all about inside of the vehicle. Those are not headlights. And the state is also acting via the people as these demon-possessed stalkers. They're engaging in demonic activity. That's why they are engaging in that demonic behavioral pattern of arriving, crossing path with directed light while the state is pacing above in airplanes, pursuant to that same tape of a sound of a plane taking off over Fern Avenue now instead of the museum, for example, or the Ovid Family Community Library in the 280 North Lemon Apartments where the senior citizens live, and the state is flying over in helicopter and commercial-sized airplanes such as Delta Airlines, Amazon Prime, FedEx, UPS, and Southwest Airlines while I sit there under the fake sun and in directed light. The state is aiming directed light inside of this vehicle at 630 North Fern Avenue. And this is demonic activity while these demons know exactly what I'm doing on my phone. As I go through, delete my browser history, as I restart my phone, a demon drives by and directed light moves all about inside of this car. They are stalking in the path, driving by, and as they drive by, this directed light is arriving inside of the car. That's the absence of coincidence. It's the ongoing demonic activity. It is also engagement in what is federal stalking, as they are monitoring via communication devices on the venue of the internet. That is the audible activity, speaking to what is the state's ongoing stalking conduct. The people are stalking with the state and directed light. That is the ongoing terrorism that I remain subject to. It's 11:19 p.m. and that is P.O.C. That's the people engaging in demonic activity. That's the government acting directly engaging in demonic activity while they are engaging in federal stalking together. It's 11:20 p.m.